Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, today I sinned more than I usually do, and that is I watched two movies on my own, um, at my own will or on my own desire. Never been asked by someone to watch these movies or pointed to, hey, you should watch these movies. I will name the movies and I will tell you what I learned, what I saw, what happened, and mostly what I didn't see in the movies. These are two movies, one from 1964 and one from 1970. And let me start the whole thing with me not watching movie and the reason why. I stopped watching movies when I simply got intellectually insulted by the movies I was watching. I can't watch a contemporary movie, a movie that was made, I don't know, in the past 10, 15 years or so, and even more, because they're insulting. Intellectually, they're insulting. Not only that, I can see too many holes through it, exaggerations, impossibilities. Even though those movies supposedly are based on reality, they're not like science fiction movies. They're too idiotic, too many subliminal messages or simply messages that I really don't want to watch. So at one point, I stopped watching movies. Yes, when someone asks me to watch a movie, sometimes I indulge in that with a lot of pain. But I do it. I always, and that's been happening in the past, I don't know, 25 years, I've been looking to see who produced the movie. Each and every movie I've been watching, and I suggest you do the same. Read who's producing the movie. Who are the producers? I don't know, Vickman, Bloomberg, and I don't know, Zelensky Stein. So it's very revealing. And not only that, because you know who's bringing the money and who's getting the message. Sometimes you have, some directors as well as Spielberg, who Spielberg is also a producer and hand in hand. Nevertheless, I'm not about that. I know they took over a long time ago in Hollywood and in Great Britain and in the Western world. So let me tell you about these two movies. How did it all start? Well, being, sitting down in a living room and looking at the book, I said, well, you know what? Let me watch something on a TV, which I usually, just watch some highlights of Champions Leagues, 2 or 3 games, 10 minutes or so on. I can't watch an entire game of football, soccer, or I watch certain things, lectures, and I'm interested. That's mostly. But I said let's relax. So when I was watching over there, I can't remember exactly what, this movie came as a suggestion. Becket, 1964 movie, and it came because I think, and caught my attention because of the actor that played in it. One of them, which is Richard Burton, which I like very much. And it was Peter O'Toole as well. So I said, what the hell, man? And Lord behold, because we are in that realm, this movie is about 2 hours and 20 some minutes. This movie. But they said, well, it's 1964. It was, medieval time in England. I said, well, you know what? Let me watch it. It was in 1066 or something like this, after the Battle of Hastings, after, the Norman conquest of England, or however we want to call it, Great Britain, whatever. No. The, how do you call it? It just escapes me right now. Jesus Christ. Yes, the Norman conquest of the Saxons. That's how it was. You remember the William the Conqueror and so on. So anyway, it was about, 3 generations past, great grandson. It was about that. And I super dare you to put this movie on in school, in high school, or in college and have a classroom, watch it the entire 2 hours and 25 minutes. That's going to be torture for them. I didn't find anything wrong with that movie. Anything was, I mean, there was nothing that was imbecilic. Richard Burton used the word baboon, and it was baboons, and it was very, very, very funny to me because I use it too. So I tell you, there was no, let me put this here, insults in this movie. I don't feel insulted whatsoever. Real, normal, decent movie. I looked at how it was shot. It took its time. There were a lot of religious symbols. All the actors were right. They were all of a certain kind. I didn't see any minorities. I didn't see anything that should not fit. Like, for instance, you have Robin Hood and you have Jamie Foxx. Is that how his name is? Jamie Foxx? Playing Little John. Garbage. Nevertheless, I didn't see any heroine being in charge of things over there and beating like 5 men in the same bam in 3 seconds and 0.5 or something. I didn't see any imbecility. I didn't see any messages of, imbecilic messages. It was a decent, clear, adult, not that kind of adult, movie. I remember I watched these kind of movies when I was a child with my parents. They were watching these movies in the 1980s, whenever we could, 82, 83, 85, 86. And I remember I watched some of them, and I liked them as a child. Now, if you want to punish a child, make that child or teenager or young adult watch this kind of movie, and he's gonna be bored to fucking death. Great movie. I super dare you watch it. You can be bored, but if you look at certain shots, and I didn't see anything wrong. And believe me, I have an eye for that. So I didn't see anything that was misplaced. I didn't see any actor scratching anything inappropriate. Anything. This movie is the first movie I watched today, and then I jumped to the other one. So here you have, it's 148 minutes right there. Country in United Kingdom, language English, production. I said, okay, who's the producers, right? And I already checked on this guy, right? So it's Hall B. Wallis. So let's see who this guy is. So the first, from the get-go, was born Aaron Bloom Volovitz. I said, fuck me, Freddy. All right, so this is the guy who did a good job. But at that time, he couldn't really push it like they do it right now. So this was the first movie. Remember, he has a different name. I don't know. I will change my name in, Tom Jones. Now, here you have the second movie that came as a suggestion after that movie, and it was Cromwell, with this actor that I don't like, but he played very well. And his name is, what's your name? Richard Harris. This guy. I don't never like this guy, but anyway, he plays very well. Again, I couldn't see anything wrong or misplaced about this movie. I'm impressed. There were one mention of a certain kind of group, and then there was a little bit of about what word they used almost at the end, underprivileged. That was like a little push that was supposed to come with Great Society. Wasn't that Lyndon Johnson? Was it? But this is from Great Britain, but still. So let's see who produced it. And this was Mark Clearer, produced by a Hungarian-born. You remember a Hungarian-born? All right, the same kind. Irving Allen, born Irving Appelbaum. Okay, and he was born in Hungary, in Austria-Hungary, right here. Like, remember George Soros, the Hungarian-born, beautiful investor, philanthropist, beautiful person, beautiful creature. So, doesn't matter. This one had the thing with underprivileged at the end, when the people were upset that the parliament was not elected and what's going on, and Cromwell comes back and wakes everybody up. All right, movie, beautiful. Nothing wrong with this movie. But nevertheless, I could watch this kind of movies. They did not insult me. They didn't seem deep or anything. It was based on a true story, but nobody flew from, I don't know, from Moscow to London in 3 seconds, because he had a pussy or something. You understand my message? Beautiful, beautiful. Again, how long? Let me see what the duration of this movie. Again, it was a long movie, 140 minutes. So 2 hours and 20 minutes. And release date in the 16th of July, 1970. So what happened? What happened? The same thing is with the society. Children who grow up in this society, they don't understand that we did better before. We did better before. We were hijacked. We are in a hijacked society. The media and entertainment industry is hijacked. That's not our. Even though you have Bloomberg and Bloombaum and Barabanga and Bagabanga, they still behaved to a certain extent. But hey, we are hijacked. Look what's going on right now with, for instance, Snow White, that little beautiful cartoon by Walt Disney. They switched into what? Remember, the children will watch the new Snow White, not the old Snow White. Why? They will not release it. So this is the same thing as George Orwell's, 1984 dystopian novel. Destroy the future. Nobody will know. They will not have to erase it, cancel it. They will not promote it anymore. Go and check, for instance, Snow White, and the garbage is gonna come as Snow White, 2020. You're not gonna remember when the other one was in 1930, 1940, whatever the other one was made. The real one, the good one, on our liking. You know what I mean? On our liking. Homogeneous movies, these two. I didn't see any midgets. I didn't see any, people that should not be over there. And it was beautiful. My liking. Maybe I'm just a dinosaur, which this guy or who these guys want to get rid of. Don't let that be erased, my friends. Don't let our past be erased. Another thing, this gets me to the society. Because the society, as I said, certain things that right now seem to be commonplace, like avoiding or dodging responsibility, it's called right now being smart. No. In our culture, 60, 50 years ago, not 30, 40, 50, 60, and back, it was considered an ill. It was considered deficiency of character. Not a quality, not an asset. Nowadays, you have to be fast, you have to be sneaky, this is not what we were. This is the BAZAR. These guys are trying to change our countries, our societies, our civilization in a BAZAR-like society where everything goes and everything is for sale. And if you speak very fast and you do with a sleight of a hand something, you get it, you run with it, it's yours. You are smart. That's not the way we used to be. But how do you know that? Read old books, our books, old books. Watch older movies. Even if they're produced by these guys, they still behaved at that time. Now, everything goes. Everything goes. Maybe you speak with older people, 70, 80, and ask them how, the society used to be. How people seem to be more, trusting one another, having a little bit of a sense of honor. Why do you think in rural places, in villages, used to be that people left their houses unlocked in the middle of the night? Why? Nowadays you can say, oh my God, that's unbelievable. What happened? What happened? Well, you can say, well, big cities never had that. Well, that's partly true, but you still in school you're taught to be in a certain way. Now you're taught different values. Cutthroat values, and crime baby, and being a victim, or the eternal, how do you call them, eternal victims here. We didn't even know about that. We made movies for us. Now they make movies for them, that they sell it to us or give it to us, and what's worse, because certain people did not see it, did not see the past, like 40 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, they do it to our children. And our children would grow, like many of our children, coming and telling you about a movie, Wakanda, or whatever, and they say, hey man, or they see all kind of the airman, the Tuskegee regiment flying shit and all that, and you're like, yeah man, these guys won the war for us. Pretty soon, that's the way it's going to be depicted. Without that, we would have been just losers. We just been losers. Don't let that die. And I'm not talking about, to hurt people's feelings. I'm just telling to certain groups, be aware of this. Be aware of this. Why? Because even if that's promoted, you're going to create resentment, and that's never good. You want a payback? Well, remember, it's a wheel that spins. Anyway, here it is, my friends. Go and watch those movies if you want to go back in time when things were normal. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.